This is a special news report hosted by This is a special news report hosted by Andy Pollock.
Alright. Good afternoon, everyone. We have some unfortunate news to report from the El Paso, Texas area, where there have been reports within the past hour that we have a mass shooting at the Cielo Valley Mall in El Paso, Texas. Here's what we know right now. The El Paso Police Department tweeted out earlier this afternoon that there was a shooting at the mall. What I can tell you is right now, this is what we know. We have large police presence near the Walmart. The Walmart is in a separate location as we are speaking. There is an unconfirmed report. Unconfirmed report that 22 are now dead. 22 of those victims, 4 of them are children. Again, it is an unconfirmed report. So right now, we are going to go live to our ABC affiliate in El Paso, Texas. We will join them live. They are showing one of these stores right now. We'll put the audio on in just a second. This is KVIA ABC 7 in El Paso, Texas. So we'll go live right now to their feed.
This taking place, you see these lines of people walking out with their hands up because there's so much chaos that happens in these situations. You don't want to be misidentified as someone that you're not. So again, the report that we're just getting is now from the mayor's office is that there are multiple casualties and 3 suspects now in custody. Let's send it over to JC. JC, what's the update that you have?
Eric, so I just got a tweet right here from the FBI office in El Paso saying that media pool is going to be setting up as well. We've been hearing from the El Paso Police Department in terms of their media pools as well. So this is going to be happening at the north parking lot of the Hooters located right around Cielo Vista Mall. So if you're heading out there, don't go there. That is for media personnel only. Again, anybody that does not need to be out there shouldn't. Anybody that is just being, I guess, a bit of a looky-loot, you should be just heading home, clearing that area. You shouldn't be heading around there. As you can see, this is still a very active situation. We have some other TxDOT cameras that we want to go ahead and show you right now. Again, we remind you the active shooter situation remains active. I-10 remains open in the area, but you might want to take Viscount or Edgemere. At this point, we don't know if the freeway is going to be shutting down. We know that police are still working this scene, so just avoid this spot at all possible. You don't want to get stuck in any traffic, but the good news right now is that I-10 is still flowing right around that airway area. You can see heading west there on I-10, traffic's looking good. Also heading east there on airway, traffic's also looking perfect. We head a little further west here towards Geronimo. You can also see that Geronimo along I-10 is still open. We just want to reiterate to avoid this spot as you're heading out.
Okay. Thank you, JC. And we are getting now a live picture. And actually, we have Julio Cesar Chavez, our reporter, on the scene. He is now available with an update. Julio Cesar, what is the latest that you have from the scene?
That's right. We're out here at what is still the scene of an active shooter. Now, police are calling it police are saying that the scene is still active, even though there may not be shots firing right now. They still need to clear all the area. Here's what we know so far. Police have confirmed that there are multiple people dead after this attack.
Listen up. Come here. I have some information.
Now, we're going to hear right now from Sergeant Enrique Carrillo. He's with El Paso Police. What we have been told, again, multiple people have died, multiple people are injured.
No, I told you guys the north end of the parking lot. You want to move over there? It'll be better for sound, okay?
Okay.
Get over there because I got some important information to share with you guys. Please.
Okay, will do, sir. Will do, sir. As you guys heard right now, we are going to be speaking with El Paso Police, with the DEA, and with the FBI. We'll share more information. Up until then, again, there have been people and ambulances streaming out of the area, and police Still have not cleared the scene. We'll bring you more information after we speak with the police and FBI. We're now reporting live in Cielo Vista. Julio Cesar Chavez, ABC7.
Okay, Julio Cesar, thank you very much. And as you heard Enrique Carrillo say there, he has important information to share. It sounds like they're going to once again adjust the media staging area, but an important update coming here in moments from Enrique Carrillo from El Paso Police. As we've been reporting, multiple casualties now confirmed from this situation, active shooter situation, and 3 suspects in custody at this time. That is the latest information we've confirmed. We will see what other information we get from El Paso Police, which could come in a matter of minutes, depending on how far they have to move from the location that they were just at. But again, that is the spokesperson that you just saw there, a public information officer for El Paso Police, Sergeant Enrique Carrillo. So he is the one that typically deals with the media and provides us with updates on any police matter. So he is going to be one of the point men that we're going to be able to hear a lot of information and get updates from. Mauricio, do you have something else right now?
Well, Eric, I want to recap for people if they're just joining us. We want to take a look at that video from inside the Cielo Vista Mall so people can get a better picture of what things were going, what exactly it was like. So this is actually a different video, but it shows a woman who was injured. She has a tourniquet around her arm. You can see blood on her jeans, and an El Paso police officer is helping her out right there. I believe that's at the Sam's Club based off of the uniform that we're seeing there. And you know what? We're going to send things out now to our live shot, our Police Sergeant Enrique Carrillo with the update.
DEA, FBI, DPS are currently searching the area, so we need people to stay away. If you have loved ones that are unaccounted for that were at the mall and you haven't been able to get a hold of them, there is a reunification center currently set up at MacArthur Middle School on Juarez Street, just north of the mall here. So again, the Reunification Center, in case anybody hasn't been contacted by a loved one that you think was at the mall or at the at the Walmart, then that's where the place to be is. Do not come here, do not approach, because you will not be allowed to enter the perimeter. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys right now. Okay, sí, ahorita lo que tenemos, vamos a reunificar amigos, seres queridos de personas que piensan que tengan familiares o amigos que fueron aquí a la Walmart o a la Cielo Vista Mall, que no han podido comunicarse con ellos. Por favor, reporten a la calle, a la escuela MacArthur Middle School en la calle Juárez. No lleguen a este lugar porque la área está cerrada, nadie va a poder entrar. Entonces, si quieren, si no han comunicado con sus familias y piensan que a lo mejor estaban aquí en esta área cuando esto ocurrió en la mañana, entonces vayan a la calle, a la MacArthur Middle School a reunificarse. Ahí vamos a mandar a familias, a personas que estaban aquí.
Are the shooters already captured, sir?
We have one person in custody. We're not going to go into details. Multiple fatalities and several people that have been transported.
How many fatalities? What's multiple, sir?
I can't give you that number at this time. We're still going through the scene.
Is this one scene or multiple scenes?
We're searching multiple scenes, primarily the Walmart, but we have scenes at the mall also. So the entire area. I can't give you any other details other than what I've given you. Okay. Look, we're gonna get you all the complete and as much information as we can get you. But for right now, the important thing is putting out that reunification center and making sure that nobody comes to the mall. Okay, we have plenty of people here. The scene is controlled by officers on the perimeter. We have tactical teams going on with a search in the entire area here around the mall.
Are people still in danger?
We don't believe there isn't an imminent threat. There is no active shooter currently. But that's not to say that we've rendered the scene safe at this time. Sí, tenemos una persona detenida, gente que ha fallecido aquí en la área y gente que ha estado transportado a varios hospitales. Mucha gente que está herido de varias gravedades.
¿Tiene un estimado de cuántos muertos hay hasta ahorita?
No tengo el número, pero les puedo dar esa información.
So one person in custody?
That's all I have for you guys right now. One in custody. Una persona en
Do we
custodia.
know how many more?
What is your name? Enrique Carrillo. Carrillo, Paso PD. Thank you.
Sorry everyone, I just need to come back on the, to put my mic on for just a second. I just want to let everybody know very quickly before we go back live to KVIA. I will let you know right now, I need to leave the air at 4:15, 4:30 Eastern because I actually have prior commitments I have to attend to this evening, so I can't get out of it just to simulcast the live stream. But for those in Texas, if you're wondering what time locally that will be around 2:15 Mountain Daylight Time, excuse me, because we're still on the daylight savings time. So 2:15 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, I will be leaving the air, so you're going to have to find a way to watch KVIA down there, but I'm still going to be live until 2:15 Mountain, 4:15 Eastern, because right now Mountain it's 12:56 p.m. Here in New York it's 2:56. So again, sorry to clarify that up, but let's go back live to KVIA.
The fountains at Farah to steer clear of the area, keep the streets open for emergency services. They do need complete access. Now, I did speak to one witness who was here. He was headed toward the Walmarts when the shots were ringing out. What's happened, according to him, was that when he arrived at the scene, he heard some shots being heard. He heard that pop, 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 pop. When police were telling people to evacuate the Walmart, he went up to the door. And at the door, looking into the Walmarts, he saw a body on the ground with what he described as a catastrophic and a fatal wound to the head. He said he saw people leaving the Walmarts with blood. There was even one man who was carrying a baby. They both had blood on them. Now, it's unclear if the blood was from the baby or from the man itself. And again, there have been multiple injuries out here. Every single agency, every single law enforcement agency you can think of has responded out here in El Paso. We have El Paso Police, we have the U.S. Marshals, Customs and Border Protection is providing air support as the search continues, and the FBI is also here. We saw them ready to go into the Walmart, armored and armed. For now, we will bring you any updates we have as soon as we learn them on air and online. We're now reporting live out of Cielo Vista. Julio Cesar Chavez, ABC 7.
Okay, Julio Cesar, a lot of information, new information that we just got there, so a lot to unpack. Let's start back from the beginning. If you're just joining us right now, shortly after 11 o'clock in the morning, El Paso Police tweeted out that there was an active shooter situation in the Cielo Vista Mall area, warning everyone to steer clear of that area. And as you just heard in the update from Sergeant Enrique Carrillo, there are multiple fatalities. He would not pin down a certain number or anything like that, just said multiple fatalities and multiple people transported. Now, we had originally been told 3 people in custody. Enrique Carrillo was saying 1 person in custody. As you saw, a huge law enforcement presence in that area. DEA, FBI, CBP, El Paso Police, ICE, every imaginable, ATF we had talked about before as well. They did say that the scene is controlled by the perimeter around Cielo Vista, and they do not believe that there is an imminent threat at this moment, but they are searching multiple scenes. And still, if you are around that area, avoid it altogether. If you have loved ones around that area, do not go to that area, because Mauricio, I want you to pick up on the update that we got about a reunification area that has been set up for people who may be wondering where their loved ones are, who may have been at the mall at the time this morning, and they still have not been able to get in touch with them.
Yeah, Eric, I'm sure that's what a lot of people are wondering right now if they're tuning in. If they do have a loved one, they're wondering where exactly to go. We just heard from El Paso Police Sergeant Enrique Carrillo. He said there will be a reunification center set up at MacArthur Middle School. The address for that is 8101 Whitus Drive. So he says that if your loved ones, if your friends, anyone you're looking for was in that area when this active shooting situation started, to go to MacArthur Middle School. That's where they're setting everyone up. So don't head to Cielo Vista Mall. Even though the police sergeant said that there is not an imminent threat right now, It's still an active situation, and multiple law enforcement agencies are out there. They've closed off the whole area. They're going to be investigating this for hours. To recap, as Eric mentioned, multiple deaths. We're not sure exactly how many. El Paso Police Sergeant Enrique Carrillo did not want to say that. We did hear also from El Paso Mayor D. Margo's office. He said that 3 suspects are in custody. That contradicts what El Paso Police Sergeant Enrique Carrillo said. He said that 1 suspect is in custody. So we're still working to get more information. And we're giving you a live look now at our traffic system. We want to send things over to JC. He's trying to, if people are trying to get to that reunification center, JC, it's MacArthur Middle School. Where should they go? What do they need to know?
Sure thing. So first off, we're giving you a closer look at the actual scene itself. Again, we just want to remind everybody, this is not a live satellite view, just for anybody who might think it is. This is right here, Cielo Vista. This is Walmart. This little corner right there, that's where we heard from PD. That's where the FBI is setting up their media pool as well. That Hooters right there, so just keep that in mind. Here is a live view itself of the situation. Again, this is I-10 at Hawkins. It is pointing towards the mall. What we heard from police, don't head to the mall. If you're looking for your loved ones, do not head there. There is now a reunification zone that has been established there at MacArthur Middle School. 8101 Whitus is the address. Do not head to the mall area. Okay, that is just a few blocks from there. So again, if you're looking for a loved one, do not head to the mall. Head to 8101 Whitus. Eric?
Okay, JC, thank you. And reaction obviously is pouring out. I do want to give a couple of updates. Again, if you're just joining us, let's just rehash because there's a lot to unpack here. Shortly after 11 o'clock in the morning, El Paso police reported an active shooter situation in the Cielo Vista area. That continued for more than an hour. We're at almost, what time is it now? We're at almost 2 hours now. It is after 1 o'clock here, so it's been a little more than 2 hours since the initial tweet came out from El Paso police. They have confirmed multiple deaths, multiple people transported because of what was an active shooter situation at the Cielo Vista Mall area. The good news out of this right now is El Paso police are saying that there is no longer an imminent threat. So that is one piece of good information that we've gotten just in the last few minutes, and that the scene is controlled around that perimeter of Cielo Vista. You're now getting a live picture of the Cielo Vista Mall area. You can see Walmart there off in the distance with that orange strip on that building. You can see just how large the presence here is from multiple as well. We are being told. Reactions also coming in from some of our elected leaders as well. Representative Veronica Escobar tweeting just within the last hour, utterly heartbroken by the developing news in El Paso, monitoring the situation and in communication with our law enforcement. Please stay safe. I did just check the earlier in this live break-in that we've been reporting on. There's a lot of information that's going to be out there. Some of it may very well end up being misinformation. So we are doing our due diligence to not report any of those numbers that maybe you've seen out there in terms of casualties or injuries, anything like that, until we have confirmation directly from government agencies or police on the matter. So all we can say at this point is multiple fatalities and multiple people transported to the hospital. Mauricio.
All right, Eric, and we want to send things over now to our reporter, Jerry Nájera, who's live from University Medical Center. He just arrived to the scene. Jerry, what can you tell us? What's the situation like out there?
Mauricio, as you said, I'm standing in front of UMC.
All right, Eric, and we want to send things over now to our reporter, Jerry Nájera, who's live from University Medical Center. He just arrived to the scene. Jerry, what can you tell us? What's the situation like out there?
Mauricio, as you said, I'm standing in front of UMC, the University Medical Center, right in front of the emergency room. I'm at the intersection of Alameda and Fulton. And although I've been here about 15-20 minutes, there haven't been any ambulances that have gone into the hospital. I can tell you it is a very active situation. And now I'm going to get behind the camera, and I want you to take a look at this. We have crews on standby right outside of the emergency room, ready to go. We also have Texas Tech Police controlling traffic in the area. They're at this intersection and also at the other intersection on the other side of Jefferson High School. So you can see it is pretty active here. Again, I haven't seen any ambulances come in, but from the chatter that I've heard here, they are expecting some ambulances in the area. And so just as you guys have been cautioning about Cielo Vista to stay away from the area, it'd probably be a good idea to stay away from this area as well, because they are expecting an influx of ambulances. Mauricio, back to you.
All right, thank you, Jerry. And if you're just joining us, if you have loved ones that are unaccounted for, if you hadn't heard from them, we got an update from the El Paso Police Sergeant Enrique Carrillo. He's saying that a reunification center has been set up. It is at MacArthur Middle School. The address for that is 8101 Whitest Drive. So don't go to the Cielo Vista area, because we're taking a live look. You can see right now, still a very active situation. Multiple law enforcement agencies are out there. Again, we've heard from El Paso Police. There's not a number confirmed in terms of casualties, just multiple deaths. That's the language that the police sergeant is using. That's the one we're going to use right here on KVIA until we get more information. He said multiple deaths, multiple people transported to the hospital. The update, though, is he says that there is no active shooter at this moment. Again, that's coming from El Paso Police Sergeant Enrique Carrillo. He also says that there is no imminent threat. So if you're tuning in, if you're wondering, I need to check in with a loved one, the best place to do so is MacArthur Middle School. That has been the reunification center that has been set up by El Paso Police. And we're still, again, working to get more information. The law enforcement agencies that we have confirmed that are out there right now is the DEA, we have U.S. Marshals, El Paso Police, ICE, FBI, Border Patrol, and also agents with Homeland Security. So we want to send things over now to JC Navarrete for an update on how the roads are looking in case people are trying to go to MacArthur Middle School, or if they're just wondering what they should do. JC.
Yeah, first off, I-10 remains open. That's the big one there. The fact that the interstate is open is huge, huge news for anybody heading out in that area, trying to meet up with loved ones. Again, this is an aerial view of MacArthur Middle School. You can see the streets around there are going to be Morley Drive, Bethany Drive, Freedom Drive. Again, those are going to be the best ways to get around there, but Viscount is right there. That's what I want to reiterate. For you to be taking Viscount if you're heading out there, we have the address for you on your screen. If you haven't heard from a loved one, do not head to the mall. Head to 8101 Whited. That's going to be the address of the school. That is the official reunification area. Now, just like we heard from Mauricio, like we've heard from Eric, 01 Whitest, that is the reunification zone.
And that is at MacArthur Middle School, JC. In case you are searching for loved ones, you haven't heard back from loved ones who may have been at Cielo Vista Mall or the Walmart there in that area at the time of this active shooter situation that began around 11 o'clock this morning. So we're now more than 2 hours into this situation. Police reiterating, though, that there is no imminent threat at this time. They are still, their scene is controlled by that perimeter in that Cielo Vista Mall area. I do want to bring back some of the video that we've seen from viewers and images. This is a look inside now on your screen, inside the Cielo Vista Mall, and you can see people exiting the store with El Paso Police there, and you'll see a lot of people that are walking out with their hands up in the air. Now, this is one of the foyer areas, and you can see the long gun there from the El Paso police officer as they are trying to evacuate people from the Cielo Vista Mall. Again, this is viewer video from earlier. This is not a live picture, but you can see the urgency that people are using there in that video with their hands up in the air. And again, I know we've seen so many of these situations across the country with these active shooter situations, and this is something that we're very used to seeing at this point, with when people are exiting the building, whether it be a mall or a school, you see them oftentimes exiting the building in single file order with their hands above the air. This is people exiting the mall at Cielo Vista Mall earlier when that active shooter situation was going on. Again, there is no imminent threat at this time. Police are saying that they have one person in custody. We had gotten some information from the mayor's office earlier that there were multiple people in custody, but what we do have confirmed from El Paso Police is that there are multiple fatalities and multiple people transported to the hospital. We do not have an exact number of the people at this time. I know that there's a lot out there on social media right now in terms of numbers and what people are seeing out there. We will not report numbers until we have something confirmed, because there is a lot of misinformation that goes out there in these times of panic and crisis, especially on social media. So we are not going to report any numbers until we get that confirmed from police. The latest update that we got from El Paso Police is just multiple fatalities, multiple people transported. Again, you're taking a look also in the picture right now of viewer video that is sent outside the Cielo Vista Mall area. You can see how large the police presence was. We've been talking about the agencies that have been handling this situation. It's pretty much across the board, anyone and everyone you could imagine. It's El Paso Police, it's DEA, it's FBI, it's Border Patrol, it's U.S. Marshals, it's ICE, it's CBP, also air support. We saw helicopters flying in the area just earlier as well. But they have that area, the Cielo Vista Mall area, the perimeter secured. If you are looking for a loved one who was at the mall this morning, again, remember, this was Saturday morning, right around lunchtime, a little bit before. So people out and about, a nice day out there. School is coming up, so people may be getting their back to school shopping done today. As you could see in that video, it looked like there were a lot of people in the mall, and this is a popular and crowded mall. So if you are looking for a loved one that you have not heard from, do not go to Cielo Vista Mall. MacArthur Middle School is where you want to go. You see it on your screen right here. 8101 Whitus is the address for MacArthur Middle School. Do not go to Cielo Vista Mall. Go to MacArthur Middle School if you are looking for a loved one and you have not heard back from them. Mauricio.
Well, Eric, I want to give you an update. Another method that I'm seeing being used right now on social media is through Facebook. You know how you can sometimes mark, or you see people mark themselves safe, be it from a natural disaster or a shooting like this. I've seen multiple friends on Facebook mark themselves as safe from the Cielo Vista shooting. So if you're looking for loved ones, if you're not sure, if they're not answering you, that is another tool as well to go on Facebook and check and see who has marked themselves safe from this shooting at the Cielo Vista area. The update again from Sergeant Enrique Carrillo of the El Paso Police Department. Multiple people have been killed. We don't have an exact number. He also said that there are multiple people who are injured. We checked in with reporter Jerry Nájera a while ago. He's at a University Medical Center in central El Paso. He said that he hadn't noticed any ambulances showing up just yet, but he's keeping an active lookout there. Again, don't go to the hospital. The Reunification Center that we're being told by police is 8101 Whitus Drive. That's MacArthur Middle School. And we want to send things over now to JC Navarrete. If people are wondering where they should go, JC, what's the best place to go? What's blocked and what's not?
Yeah, the best way to get there definitely is to avoid Gateway and Hawkins. That's the spot that's blocked off. Right here, we're giving you an overview of the active scene. This is Cielo Vista Mall. That right there is the Walmart. The Hooters is right there. That's where we spoke to police. That's where they gave us the update. That's where they told us where you need to head. We want to go ahead and just show you just how far this area is. It's not far at all from the active scene. Again, this is MacArthur Middle School. You're going to want to take Hawkins northbound. Now, I'm not saying take Hawkins and Gateway. That's the area that's blocked off. But if you take Hawkins northbound towards Viscount, that area remains open. You can see the active flows. They're still green. Morley Drive, Bethany Drive, Freedom Drive, all of those areas are still open. Again, Viscount, though, is going to be the best way for you to meet up with any loved ones. If you haven't heard from them, that is the official reunification zone, 8101 Whitus. Just like Mauricio said, don't head to the hospital. Those folks right there at the ER are busy right now. You don't want to be heading to the hospital. You don't want to be heading to the mall. You want to head to the official place where police are staging this entire area. That is the official reunification zone on 8101 Whitus. Again, if you're heading out, do not head to the mall. You can see that this area remains active. All these cars are going to remain parked there until this area is clear. So again, if you're looking for a loved one, head to that reunification zone. Do not be heading to the mall. Do not head to the hospital either. 8101 is the address on your screen. Viscount, Edgemere, both of those streets remain open. Montana, we're seeing some delays in that area. So I do avoid and caution you if you're heading out to avoid Montana. And I do want to remind you, just overall, I-10 east and west around Hawkins, Airway, Paisano, Geronimo, that whole area, that remains open. That's the good news right now. If police were to shut down the freeway, you'd be the first to know right here. We'll be letting you know as of right now, though it doesn't look like the freeway is going to be shutting down. In case you have some business to do on the far east side of town, you can take I-10. If you're heading to the west side of town, you can take I-10. But again, avoid Gateway and Hawkins. The reunification zone is 8101 widest on your screen. Again, that is MacArthur Middle School. Do not head to the mall. Do not head to the hospitals.
Okay, JC, thank you. And I just saw a tweet here within the last minute from El Paso Mayor D. Margo. I want to read it in full because I'm just reading it now for the first time. He just tweeted this out within the last minute or two. He says, quote, Adair and I are devastated by the tragic events unfolding in our city. Our hearts go out to victims and gratitude to our first responders. We will continue to keep you updated. He also has this update attached to that tweet. EPPD confirms several fatalities, multiple suspects in custody. That is not what we heard from Enrique Carrillo. He said one suspect at the time, but this is coming from the mayor, from El Paso Police to the mayor, saying that there are multiple suspects in custody. The area is still an active scene while EPPD work with FBI and other law enforcement agencies. We are working to pull this response now up, this tweet here from DeMargo. Now you see it in full here on your screen. The area is still an active scene while EPPD work with FBI and other law enforcement agencies. We will continue to utilize all available resources to respond to this senseless act of violence. My condolences and prayers go out to all of El Paso as we mourn those impacted by this tragedy. Those are the words of El Paso Mayor D. Margo. Mauricio, I understand we may have Saul Saenz on the phone right now.
Yeah, Eric, we want to check in and see if we can get reporter Saul Saenz on the phone, who happened to be in the area from my understanding. Saul, can you hear us?
Letting us know that there was an active shooter on the scene. So what I immediately did is I picked up my phone and started recording visuals from inside the Cielo Vista Mall. We were just exiting Dillard's, and we saw people frantically running around, confused. And then obviously stood there a little while longer, and we saw police officers running from one end of the mall to where the stairway is, pretty much in the middle of the mall where Dillard's is, and where the fountain is, basically, and the escalators. And then they apparently made a 180-degree turn and started heading back in the same direction. So you can see police officers obviously just as confused, as the moment was very fluid. New information was coming in, trying to determine exactly where the active shooter was. Some of the people were exiting, others watching in disbelief in a surreal situation, not really knowing exactly what was going on, because there was no confirmation at that time. A lot of people exiting the stores. Some people staying inside because they weren't sure exactly what was going on, but those outside were calling family members, letting them know that they were okay. Outside, we saw helicopters hovering above. We did see a lot of police officers surrounding Cielo Vista Mall. At that point in time, we were not aware, no one who was around me was aware exactly where the shooting had occurred. Later on, we learned that it was in the Walmart area. However, a lot of frantic people running around. I can't let you know just how desperate people were to get out of that mall in fear that an active shooter was still inside the mall, so essentially trying to escape the situation. Back to you guys.
All right, Saul, thank you, and we're all thankful that you're safe and that you're doing well. And Saul, if you're still online, if you could still hear me, I know based on your experiences, you worked in Orlando, you've covered, obviously, a devastating story with the Pulse nightclub shooting. I got to ask you how it feels to be so close to another similar situation like that in your hometown of El Paso.
Well, you never think it's going to happen in a small town like El Paso, considered one of the safest cities in the U.S. You don't believe something like that can happen. Yes, I was there when the Pulse shooting occurred, and it was pretty much the same situation where people were rushing out of the nightclub itself. By the time that we got there at the nightclub, there were a lot of people still inside the nightclub. So in a situation like this, it was a little bit of deja vu, because there were still a lot of people in disbelief who were inside Cielo Vista Mall, not knowing precisely what's going on, and at the same time seeing frantic people trying to rush out of the mall. So a mixture of people, some in disbelief, some obviously jumping into action and trying to get out of the mall itself. So it brings back a lot of memories of what happened back then over in Orlando, and I'm seeing it right now happening in my own hometown of El Paso. Pretty stark realization that, something like this can happen just about anywhere.
Yeah, obviously, scary situation. And if people are wondering where exactly they need to go to find their loved ones, they're urged not to go to Cielo Vista. Thank you, Saul, for that update. They're actually being told to go to MacArthur Middle School. That's 8101 Whitus Drive. I want to send things over now to Eric Elkin, who's going to recap, if you're just joining us, what exactly we know right now, what we're still working to find out. Eric.
There's a lot we know, and there's a lot to unpack. Let's start at 11 o'clock in the morning, shortly after 11 o'clock. That's when the first reports of this active shooter situation came down. So about 2.5 hours ago, this was happening at the Cielo Vista Mall area, the Walmart area next to it. As you can see on this map, Cielo Vista on the right there, Walmart, it's adjacent to I-10 East there in central El Paso. And it was at that time that El Paso police said there was an active shooter situation, avoid the area altogether. Since then, what we've learned, multiple deaths, multiple casualties, and multiple people transported. We don't have definitive numbers at this time. I know there are a lot of reports out there, and you're seeing a lot of things on social media, but El Paso police have not confirmed an exact number of the casualties or injuries or number of people transported at this time. What we've seen in video from inside Cielo Vista Mall, as well as the Walmart and Sam's Club, are people urgently getting out of the building, escorted by El Paso police and other law enforcement with long guns in their hands, with their hands above their head. We know that there is at least one person in custody. That is coming from Enrique Carrillo with El Paso police, but El Paso Mayor DeMargo says that EPPD have told him multiple people are in custody. This is one of those videos from inside that Sam's Club, the Walmart area that we showed you earlier that I was just referencing. You can see this lady with blood splatter, it looks like, on her pants, a tourniquet on her arm, being assisted by an El Paso police officer. This was earlier. We do want to say what also is important is that there is not an imminent threat right now. That is according to El Paso police. I know there's a lot of other chatter out there about the possibility of a lot of different things happening right now, but police are saying there is not an imminent threat. They do have the perimeter of Cielo Vista secured, but what we know is that multiple agencies are on scene: DEA, FBI, El Paso Police, CBP, Border Patrol. And we just heard from Saul, who was inside at the time, what the scene was like, the chaos, people trying to get out. And if you are looking for a loved one who may have been out, as this was just before lunchtime on a Saturday morning as we get close to back to school, some schools are back in session, people may be at the malls for back to school shopping. If you are looking for loved ones, as we get another viewer video from inside the Cielo Vista Mall as people are evacuating the building with their hands above their heads. You're about to see it in a moment here too on the right side of your screen. There he is, an El Paso police officer with a long gun in his arm, as people are urgently getting out of that building with their hands above their heads. If you are looking for a loved one that you have not heard from, do not go to Cielo Vista Mall. Go to MacArthur Middle School. The address is 8101 Whitus. Do not go to Cielo Vista. There is not an imminent threat there right now, according to police, but they do not want people going to Cielo Vista Mall for obvious reasons at this time, as the investigation is just in its early stages. Mauricio, what else are you learning at this hour?
Well, Eric, we've got an update just within what's going on here at KVIA. Today, of course, was supposed to be the Humane Society Telethon, one that we do every year. It was supposed to start at 4 o'clock. Based off of what's happening right now, we could tell you that the Humane Society Telethon has been moved to next week. Obviously, we're going to stay focused on here, bringing you the very latest to make sure you know what exactly is going on. We'll have all that coming up. And I'm being told that we have Julio Cesar Chavez, who's standing by. He's been live in the field. He's been out there since around 11:30. Julio, what can you tell us? What have you learned?
We have new information now regarding the shooting situation over at the Walmart at Cielo Vista Mall. As you can see, the scene is still active behind us. What we know so far is that Mayor DeMargo said on CNN that 3 people have been arrested. It's unclear at this time exactly the relation those 3 arrests had to this shooting, but the mayor, again, did say that to CNN during an interview. Police confirmed that at least one suspect directly involved in the shooting has been arrested. Police did also say there have been multiple fatalities. They are yet to confirm an official number of how many people have died so far. There have been, they said, more than 20 casualties as people who either died or were injured. I did see, from the moment that I've got here, I've seen a steady stream of ambulances leaving with their lights and sirens on, taking people to hospitals in the area. If you have not heard from anyone that you know was at the Walmart or at the mall itself, the Reunification Center is on our website. It's a local middle school close by. Do not come to the shopping area. Stay clear of Cielo Vista. Police are asking that people don't come here. They do need wide access so they can continue their investigation. They can continue to clear the scene and mark it all as safe. For now, we're recommending people all the way from Airway to the area past the Fountain Fair, just stay clear of that area. And if you do need to contact family and loved ones who may have been inside, we do have that information on our website right now. What we can tell you is there is a rather large ambulance labeled mass casualty ambulance. There are still tactical teams at the scene working with the FBI, with the DEA, and with El Paso Police. We also saw the sheriff's SWAT team come in armed and armored to the scene. Again, police have not yet cleared the area. They have not said that things are safe. However, there is no imminent threat. The investigation does continue. For now, reporting live from Cielo Vista, Julio Cesar Chavez, ABC 7.
Okay, Julio Cesar, thank you very much. We've passed along some of the tweets and statements from some of our elected leaders. Earlier, we shared Mayor DeMargo with you, as well as Congresswoman Veronica Escobar. We're now hearing from the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott. His statement reads, "Today, the El Paso community was struck by a heinous and senseless act of violence. Our hearts go out to the victims of this horrific shooting and to the entire community in this time of loss. While no words can provide the solace needed for those impacted by this event, I ask that all Texans join Cecilia and me in offering our prayers for the victims and their families. The state of Texas and the Department of Public Safety are assisting the El Paso Police Department as they conduct their investigation. We have deployed troopers, special agents, Texas Rangers, tactical teams, and aircraft to the scene in a support role. The state of Texas will do everything it can to ensure justice is delivered to the perpetrators of this heinous act." That the statement from Governor Greg Abbott. Mauricio?
Yeah, Eric, we also want to read off a tweet from someone who appears to have been in the Cielo Vista Mall, rather from Walmart. I'm going to read it off because I just got it. It says, quote, "We're in shock over the tragic events at Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, where store 2201 and Club 6502 are located." Actually, this tweet is coming from Walmart, rather. "We're praying for the victims, the community, and our associates, as well as the first responders. We're working closely with law enforcement and will update you as appropriate." And we're also getting some reaction from Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi. This just coming down in Twitter about 10 minutes ago. She says, quote, "We're closely monitoring the situation in El Paso. While we are grateful for heroic first responders, our hearts ache for the families of those who were killed and the injured. Action must be taken to finally finally end gun violence." That's just coming in from Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi. Now we're working to get reporter Jerry Nájera, who's been stationed over at University Medical Center. Do we have Jerry? Jerry, are you there? Okay, we're still working to get Jerry. We'll send things over to him as soon as we get him. But now let's send things over to JC Navarrete with a look at the roads. And if people are wondering, where do they need to go if they're looking to reunify with loved ones? JC.
That's right. So I was about to also read that tweet there from Walmart. Again, that's coming in just within a few minutes. Aaron Jones also sending a tweet saying prayers going up for El Paso and everyone involved. It saddens him that something like that could happen in our city. A sentiment that we can all get behind. And again, there's that tweet from Walmart's official Twitter. As you can see, they are working closely with law enforcement, and they will also be updating as appropriate. Let's give you a look at the commute right now, because this is the main area right now. It is still an active scene. We've heard from police, though. There's no imminent threat right now. That doesn't mean you should be heading there, though. There's still a huge law enforcement presence. You want to avoid the Cielo Vista Mall area. You want to avoid the Walmart area, the Hooters area. This entire area, just see it as roped off. Don't even try to go there. That's not where you need to be heading if you're trying to find out the status of your loved ones. This right here is MacArthur Middle School. You can see it's just a few blocks away. It's right there in the distance. And again, if you take Viscount, if you take Edgemere, you will be able to get there. We're not seeing delays there right now. You can take Morley, Bethany, or Freedom Drive. This is the official reunification zone. If you're heading out and you don't know the address, it is 8101 Whitus. It is on your screen. Take a picture of that if you need to. Again, that is where you can head over to speak to police to try to get in contact with your loved ones. Now, we also want to give you a look at the roadways. You can see Montana. The delays are starting to ease off just a little bit. This is Montana at Airway right there. We also have another camera on Montana that we want to give you a look at. This is Montana Montana at Hawkins. Good news here. Montana seems like it's opening up. We were seeing speeds there in the 5-mile-per-hour range. They're looking a lot better. Take Montana also if you're heading towards MacArthur Middle School. You can also take Edgemere. We want to remind you, just do not head to this area. We're still seeing this area roped off. This is not where you should be heading if you're trying to find out the status of your loved ones. Again, we had that address on your screen, 8101 Whitus, to go to that official reunification zone. If you're heading out right now, again, we just remind you, avoid the Cielo Vista area.
Okay, JC, thank you. And just within the last minute, El Paso Police tweeting that there will be a media brief in 5 minutes on the Sunmount location. That is where I believe Julio Cesar Chavez is right now. That was a minute ago. So within the next couple of minutes, we should be receiving another update from El Paso Police. But if you're just joining us right now, I'll give you the information that we have so far from El Paso Police. Shortly after 11 o'clock in the morning, El Paso Police tweeted out that there was an active shooter situation in the Cielo Vista Mall area, the Walmart area. We've showed you several videos from inside both of those locations of people evacuating the building. And what we also have confirmed from El Paso Police at this time is that there are multiple fatalities and multiple people transported to the hospital. We don't have definitive numbers at this point confirmed from El Paso Police, but as you've heard in the statements as well from the El Paso Mayor DeMargo, Governor Greg Abbott, we just read to you a moment ago, Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, they are all saying the same thing about multiple fatalities in this active shooter situation. There is no imminent threat at this moment, according to El Paso Police. Do not go, though, to the Cielo Vista Mall area, as JC was just mentioning a moment ago. If you are looking for loved ones out there, go to 8108 Whitus at MacArthur Middle School. That is the reunification zone for anyone who may have had a loved one at the Cielo Vista Mall or in that area in general at the time of all this starting. And it was more than an hour or so. As you can see, there's air support as well, still up in the air. Several law enforcement agencies, and you heard from Governor Greg Abbott as well, saying that they will send everyone, air support, as well as Texas Rangers and troopers from across the state to support the efforts by law enforcement here from El Paso Police, DEA, FBI, ICE, Border Patrol, CBP. Multiple fatalities, multiple people transported to the hospital after an active shooter situation around 11 o'clock this morning in the Cielo Vista Mall area. If you know anyone who is in that area at the time and you have not heard back from them or you have not been able to get in touch with them, you are asked to go to the reunification zone at MacArthur Middle School, 8108 Whitus. That is where you need to go. Do not go towards the Cielo Vista Mall area. That is all blocked off. You can see in this live picture the heavy law enforcement presence that is in that area. Again, about 3 minutes ago, we heard from El Paso Police saying that within the next 5 minutes, we should be getting a media briefing. I believe it's going to happen at this picture that we have up on the screen right now, this live picture outside of the Walmart and Sam's Club in that area. So that update from El Paso Police should be coming in that spot. So we are standing by waiting for El Paso Police to brief us. We have reports from El Paso Police initially that there was one person in custody. El Paso Mayor DeMargo says in his statement that multiple people are in custody, according to El Paso Police, as we now change our live shot to this picture of UMC. We are waiting to see if there are any more vehicles, ambulances that are going to be heading into that area. That is obviously, as you see where it says ambulance there, where ambulances would be heading to drop off any potential patients. But you can see people outside waiting. It looks like nurses there maybe are standing by waiting for any type of response that is needed. We do not have a definitive number on the number of casualties or the number injured. There is a lot of information out there on social media, and we are not going to report it until we have it confirmed. We may get some type of update on that from El Paso Police in the matter of a minute or so. They said 4 minutes ago that we would be hearing in 5 minutes a media briefing. But again, if you are just joining us, it was shortly after 11 o'clock this morning, an active shooter situation in the Cielo Vista Mall area. And there are confirmed multiple fatalities, multiple people being transported as we look at UMC, this live picture. Mauricio, what else are you hearing?
Yeah, we just got this tweet in from El Paso Police 34 seconds ago. I'm going to read it live on air. Quote, please stay clear of the surrounding area of Cielo Vista Mall Reunification Center for families at MacArthur Middle School on Whitus. Again, information that we've been reiterating to you. And we've just learned, I'm just learning right now, that Texas Governor Greg Abbott is on his way to El Paso. Eric read the statement earlier. He's saying that resources are coming to El Paso to investigate what exactly happened. So we got that information as well. Eric, you mentioned too that El Paso Police, there will be a media briefing soon. They tweeted that 5 minutes ago. It's now been 5 minutes, so we're standing by waiting to hear new information. If you're just joining us, no number has been confirmed by El Paso Police, but they did say that there are multiple casualties as well as multiple people who were injured by this active shooter. Good news is that there is no imminent threat right now. That's coming from El Paso Police Sergeant Enrique Carrillo, and he says that there's also no active shooter. So as soon as we get that information, as soon as we get El Paso Police ready to go to give us that update, we'll send it to you live. But again, this happened starting around 11 a.m. Now, we do have a couple of other updates that we've heard from different school districts. So Sled ISD says that all weekend activities have been canceled, and same goes for Clint ISD. All weekend activities have been canceled. We want to send things over now to JC Navarrete for a look at the roads. If people are trying to find loved ones.
You will see that this camera is also looking pretty much perfect. So again, Montana is open. That's good news. Along that stretch of road, also I-10 is open. So if you are heading out there, that's where you're going to, those are the roads you're going to want to take. Edgemere, we remind you, is open. Viscount itself, that is still open. The one area you want to avoid is Gateway and Hawkins. Let's head on over to Kiki Carrillo with the El Paso Police Department.
Everybody ready? Yes. Give it 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, here we go. My name is Sergeant Robert Gomez. I'm a public information officer with the City of El Paso Police Department. Just a tactical brief of what the situation here is. Approximately 10 o'clock this morning, we started receiving 911 calls from the public of an active shooter. Several emergency responses reacted and responded to the mall. The first location was the Walmart at Gateway and Hawkins. We then received several information of possible shooters at Cielo Vista Mall. Initial reports did advise of multiple suspects. At this time, we do have one person in custody. We don't believe there's anybody outstanding, so we are starting to secure the scene, and the scene is starting to become secure. We do have we can confirm there were multiple victims. I can't confirm their status yet, and I can't confirm the numbers. That's all we have right now as far as the active scene. We have established a reunification sites for anybody that was in the area and got separated for their loved ones. We're asking them to report to MacArthur Elementary School in order to be reunited with any loved ones that got separated during the chaos. At this time, we are going to be giving tactical briefs as a scene. Like I said earlier, we are transitioning into a homicide scene or a possible homicide scene, and the scene will be secured, locked down, and our criminal investigation will start. Any further tactical briefs will be from this location. Any more confirmed concrete information will come from city leaders from the EEOC, the EOC on Threadgill. That location will be announced, and we'll be able to hear from our city leaders, chief of police, mayor, so forth, with more concrete information. This location will be a tactical brief, giving you updates of where we need people to go, what we need people to do, and the status of the scene itself. And at this time, I'll take any questions.
Sir, the mayor said on CNN 3 people have been arrested. Multiple shooters?
At this time, we have ruled out multiple shooters. It's still active, but as of right now, we have one person in custody.
Was the suspect injured in any way?
I don't have the status of the suspect right now.
How many have passed away, sir?
I don't have that confirmation. I know we do have injured. I don't know their status or if there's any confirmed killed. As soon as we have that information, we'll provide it, but we don't want to do anything prematurely until we have accurate facts for you.
Is there an active search of
Right now, we're clearing all the location. This is a very large area, including the mall, all the retail areas. We are going through making sure that anybody that that's sheltered in place, that we get to them. We're also treating any persons that were injured in any form. So this is a large crime scene, a large area, so we are systematically going through it. And making sure that anybody in the area, number one, we're ruling out that no one is a suspect. And we're also making sure that those people that were separated or hurt are getting the care that they need.
Were there casualties at both the Walmart and the mall?
I don't have the locations of the casualties. I just know that there are casualties. I don't know the actual locations.
But were there concurrent, you said there were reports
reports of gunfire at those locations?
Yes, there were reports of gunfire in several locations, mainly at Walmart and the Cielo Vista Mall.
Sir, we have been getting reports that Bassett was also evacuated.
We did have initial reports of Bassett Center. I can confirm that those reports were not true. We have confirmed that there is nothing going on related to this incident at Bassett Center.
Are the casualties still inside the Walmart?
I don't know the status of them. I know medical personnel is attending to them. I don't know if they're at the location or if they've been transported. I know there's mixed information on that. As soon as I have an accurate count, I will give it to you.
Well, what about reports of one person arrested on their way to Horizon?
I don't have any reports of a person arrested in Horizon. I do know that we have one person detained and one person in custody right now. I don't have the location of that where that person was detained, but as soon as I get that and we have more concrete information, we'll provide it.
Do you know ¿Puedes compartir en español?
Ahorita voy a hablar en español. Déjame hacerlo en inglés primero y lo hago otra vez en español, por favor. One more time. Your question. Initial reports of the weapon was a rifle. I can't confirm that yet, but initial reports was a rifle.
Is it true that it was gang-related terrorism?
We have no information, and we have not put out a concrete response on what the motive for this shooting is. We are working that. Like I said, we are transitioning into the crime scene phase, and we will be developing more information as that becomes available to us and as we learn it, and we can confirm
the scene, sir?
The Paso Police Department has jurisdiction of the city, but we are working with our federal partners. FBI is on scene, DEA, all the federal agencies are here assisting because this is a large area. We do have assistance from the Sheriff's Department, the school district. Pretty much every law enforcement personnel in El Paso is here assisting. El Paso PD will take the lead on it, but we are working closely with our federal partners, our state partners, and all the other law enforcement in this area. You can go ahead.
And that suspect in custody, do we know anything about that person?
No, we're still developing that. As soon as I have concrete information or an identity of that suspect, I will release it.
Do we have a race, age, or sex?
No, I don't have anything. The only thing I have is a male.
There is more than one shooter?
As of right now, we have one person in custody. I don't know the particulars or if there are more than one. There were initial reports of one, but we have one person in custody. That's the only thing. I don't know the ages or the casualty count.
There were shots in the mall in custody?
No, we have one person in custody as of right now.
Did any officers fire their weapon today?
As far as I know, no.
¿Podría dar un baile en español, por favor?
Sí, ahorita voy a hacer algo.
Shots in the mall inside the mall?
I don't have the condition of any casualties at all. Whether they're fatalities or injured, I don't have that as of yet. As soon as that comes available, we will put it out.
You can't say if there's more than one shooter.
I can only say we have one person in custody right now. I can't definitively say there's only one shooter.
There were shots
There were shots fired. There were shots fired in this area. I can't tell you the location.
Sir,
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I just need to clarify.
Go ahead.
At the beginning of the briefing, you said that police have ruled out other people that are not in custody?
Okay, just to be clear, this thing is fluid and dynamic as of right now. We don't think there's multiple, but that could change. Initial reports were that it was multiple. At this second in time, we have one person in custody. We won't rule out multiple until we have a concrete investigation based on all the facts and investigation of the scene. So it can change. As of this moment, we only have one person in custody. We are investigating the crime scene. Should it change, we will give you an update, but as of right now, that's the information that I have.
¿Puede darnos la información en
Okay, in Spanish now. Okay, soy oficial Gómez, Departamento de Policía, Public Information Officer. Approximately.
All right, and that was Police Sergeant Robert Gomez, who just gave us a briefing, and now he was speaking to the Spanish reporters. Let me recap what Sergeant Gomez did say. This all started around 10 a.m. when they started getting calls of an active shooter. He said that at first it was the Walmart location there at Cielo Vista. At first, initial reports said that there were multiple shooters. At this point, he is saying, and he reiterated this point, that there is one person in custody. At this point, it looks like there was just one shooter. He said that that could change, though, as the investigation continues, that there could be multiple shooters. Again, we want to show you this video of what it was like inside Cielo Vista Mall. A look at people running away with their hands up. And recapping what Sergeant Gomez also said, one person is in custody. He is not saying he's not putting a number out there in terms of how many people may have died in this shooting. Now, we do have ABC News nationally reporting that 18 people were killed. We have not been able to confirm that locally, so that is ABC News reporting that. We're not going to report anything official until we hear it from the El Paso Police Department or city officials. We also have, there were some reports circulating, and we got a live shot set up over there. Well, let's send things over to Eric. Eric, what's going on?
Yeah, what you're seeing right now, Mauricio, is some ambulances arriving at UMC. This is a live picture of UMC. We've had a camera stage here for quite some time now, but this is the first activity we're really seeing outside of UMC, outside of police presence being ready to go. This is the first arrival of ambulances we're seeing area. But just to recap here, if you're just joining us here at 1:45 on Saturday afternoon, the first tweet, as I've been mentioning in the previous hours, was around 11 o'clock this morning. But according to Sergeant Robert Gomez from El Paso Police, who you just heard there, they started receiving 911 calls around 10 o'clock in the morning, the first location at the Walmart. And then there was also reports of shots fired in the Cielo Vista Mall area as well. There are many reports out there saying that there were multiple in custody. What Sergeant Robert Gomez said right now definitively is all he can say is that there is one in custody at this time. We've heard from others, including El Paso Mayor DeMargo, that there may be multiple. So there's a lot of information. It's a very fluid situation right now that is going out and on right now. And as Mauricio just mentioned a moment ago, we had seen from ABC News, they were reporting as many as 18 confirmed dead, but that is not confirmed. We don't have definitive numbers. You heard from Sergeant Robert Gomez just a moment ago that he doesn't have any of those numbers confirmed in terms of how many people were shot, how many people are dead. What we did hear from Enrique Carrillo from El Paso Police a little bit earlier was that he was confirming that there were multiple deaths. Sergeant Robert Gomez didn't go as far to say all of that because he didn't know all of that information at this time, but now you know that there are going to be multiple staging areas as well in terms of media. Where we just heard from Sergeant Robert Gomez will be updates specific to the investigation, which he has now said will be a possible homicide scene. Another important thing that I want to bring back into the discussion here that we heard about an hour and a half ago or so from Enrique Carrillo is, and I think Sergeant Robert Gomez said it as well, if you are looking for a loved one and you have not been able to get in touch with them, they may have been at that Walmart or anywhere near that Cielo Vista Mall area around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock this morning, do not go to Cielo Vista Mall. The staging area for the reunification zone is MacArthur Middle School. That is at 8101 Whitis. That is where, that is where you will find where you can go and try and meet up with people, as we are now seeing, it looks like potential victims being taken out of an ambulance into UMC. And I'm just going to say right now, I don't know the condition of the victim. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm seeing it as you're seeing it. I just want to warn you, the images could be graphic. It does look like there's blood there. So just know that any of these images we're going to see going into the hospital could be graphic and could be disturbing.
Yeah, just like this whole situation itself, Eric, is absolutely disturbing. Like Eric said, these images are coming to you live and unfiltered. So, viewer discretion, of course, is advised. At this point, we don't have any information on these patients. This is a good time if you do have some of the younger ones watching TV to perhaps go outside, do something else, because these images are coming to you live. They are unfiltered. We have no control over what is being shown here, so just keep that in mind. We do want to get back to the families that are worried about loved ones who have not been able to get in contact with them. Well, we will get to that address, but I also want to get to more traffic-related news here. Customs and Border Protection just tweeting out moments ago that all ports of entry are open for business in El Paso and the outlying locations. This as CBP continues to monitor this active shooter situation. So just keep that in mind as you're heading out. One more time, let's give you that address. If you are heading out, you can see that tweet on your screen. If you are heading out and looking for loved ones, remember there is a reunification zone, 8101 Whitis.
And you see that tweet there from CBP West Texas saying that all ports of entry are open for business in El Paso. We want to also recap some other tweets that we've The first one from Walmart, if we can pull that up. It was time-stamped at 1:14 p.m. It says, quote, "We're in shock over the tragic events at Cielo Vista Mall in El Paso, where store 2201 and Club 6502 are located. We're praying for the victims, the community, and our associates, as well as the first responders. We're working closely with law enforcement and will update you as appropriate." We also did get a tweet from former El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke, this one coming just before noon, that says, quote, "Truly heartbreaking. Stay safe, El Paso. Please follow all directions of emergency personnel as we continue to get more updates." And another one coming from State Representative Cesar Blanco, this one, quote, "Praying for victims and El Paso police responding to active shooter in my district." So reaction coming in, of course, from all sorts of people. This one from Beto O'Rourke in Spanish, saying that his heart is with El Paso at the moment, for everyone to be safe and for people to follow the instructions again of all law enforcement. Now, we are working still to get a definitive number on the number of fatalities. ABC News nationally is reporting that 18 people are dead. That is something that ABC 7 here has not been able to confirm. So we're not going to say anything. We're not going to put a number on anything just yet until we get that confirmation from police. You did hear Sergeant Robert Gomez speaking earlier when he was giving that media briefing about 10 minutes ago. He said that there are going to be briefings coming from El Paso police on the scene. He described them as tactical briefings. He said that when those briefings are given out there, it'll be for updates on what's going on in the scene. He also anticipated that city leaders as well will be giving a more definitive update. So we're still working to get on that. Right there on your screen is a tweet from Representative Will Hurd, who represents a portion of El Paso County. He says, quote, "My heart is heavy for the victims of today's shooting, their loved ones, and the El Paso community. Grateful for the efforts of our first responders. As we wait to learn more, please stay safe, avoid the Cielo Vista area, and follow El Paso police for updates." Eric.
And please, I want to reiterate, please be patient with us too, because we are not going to just put anything on the air that is circulating on social media. I know that there are photos out there right now. There are numbers out there that we've been talking about, but we are waiting to hear official confirmation from El Paso police. You heard Sergeant Robert Gomez a moment ago, not able to confirm the number of fatalities or injuries. Enrique Carrillo said the same thing earlier. We will report what is put out there officially. I want to reiterate that. I know that people want to rush to numbers, to response, to things that are out there on social media. We have a dedicated team in the newsroom right now going through everything that is coming into our newsroom and making sure before we bring it to you live on the air that that is in fact confirmed and sourced properly. Again, if you're just joining us, it was just after 10 o'clock this morning that the 911 calls began to come in from a active shooter situation. This is according to El Paso police, an active shooter situation that began at the Walmart at the Cielo Vista Mall area. And then there were reports of the shooting in other locations. We've shown you video. If we can bring some of that video up. Sorry, can you repeat that? Okay, we've got some more responses coming in from elected leaders. I believe we have a tweet coming in from Udall, Senator Udall. I don't know if it's on the screen there. Tom Udall, there it is. It's actually very difficult to read that right now, but it sounds, that is not the right thing. Okay, so we will bring it to you when we get a chance. And this is live television right now, so we are doing our best to bring you as much information as possible. Again, I want to recap. One thing that is also confirmed from El Paso police, the weapon that they said is used in this shooting was a rifle. There is no concrete motive at this time. The area around Cielo Vista Mall is secured. There is no imminent threat right now, according to El Paso police, but that whole area around Cielo Vista Mall, you're not going to want to go in that area. It is closed off. It is turning into what Sergeant Robert Gomez said, a possible homicide scene now. And Tom Udall, the senator from New Mexico, saying, "Jill and I are shocked and heartbroken for our neighbors in El Paso. Such violence is senseless, sickening, and it must end. We thank the first responders on the scene, and we are holding the victims, their families, and the entire El Paso community in our hearts." And there may be people here watching from all over the country. If you're not familiar with this area, El Paso, Texas is right on the border of Mexico and New Mexico. So we're also hearing from New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham. There's a very tight-knit community between the entire borderland, which includes Las Cruces, New Mexico, and here in El Paso. And the governor from New Mexico, Michelle Lujan Grisham, saying, "My heart breaks for our neighbors in El Paso. This shouldn't ever happen. It should never happen again. When will it be enough?" We also heard from the governor, Greg Abbott, according to the ABC affiliate in Austin, Texas. Governor Greg Abbott the governor of Texas is on his way here to El Paso. So as soon as he gets here, we may be hearing from him as well. I'm also just getting some new information as well. El Paso Locomotive FC, we're supposed to be playing a game tonight against the Timbers 2 from Portland at Southwest University Park, not too far from the Cielo Vista Mall. That game has been canceled. If you have tickets and you were planning to go to the El Paso Locomotive FC game tonight at Southwest University Park, that game has been canceled. Your best bet is to just stay at home if you can and avoid any area around Cielo Vista Mall, as unless you are looking for loved ones and you're looking for someone that you haven't heard from. The reunification zone for that is at MacArthur Middle School at 8108 Whitus, excuse me. That is where you should try and find them. Mauricio, what else do you have right now?
Yeah, Eric, we've just got Michael Gordon, who's standing by outside of University Medical Center. He's been out there for about 30 minutes or to an hour. So, Michael, what can you tell us about what's going on over there?
So I'm outside of the Children's Hospital next to the University Medical Center, and there's several updates here. Number one, you may have seen earlier an ambulance came by and dropped off someone. Now we can confirm that was a El Paso Children's Hospital rocket ambulance, and it was a young person who was brought out and taken into the scene on a gurney with a breathing apparatus attached to their face. Now that's the first person we've seen come in to get treated in the last about 45 minutes since we've pulled up here. We kept hearing chatter that more ambulances would be on the way, and that was the first that we saw coming from the scene to get patched up. Now, earlier I heard from a police sergeant who came up and told me that the initial wave of people who were hit in this incident were taken here right away within just a couple minutes of the shooting, and that were and are being treated here. Now, the final bit of new information we can tell you is that about 15 minutes ago, we did see a man get taken into the hospital in handcuffs. He was flanked by both sides by police officers. We can't confirm that this person had anything to do with the incident we're talking about today, other than to tell you we did in fact see a person in handcuffs about 20 minutes ago, tall, about 6'2", white male, taken in handcuffs with police officers on both sides of them. We're continuing to monitor the situation out here with possible more ambulances inbound. As you can see, heavy police presence still here, and there's the rocket ambulance right behind me that's pulling on the way, that dropped off the last person about 15-20 minutes ago. We're going to have more updates as we get more information, and we'll bring you that then. Guys, back to you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Now we want to get back and we want to show you some of the footage, if you're just joining us, that we've been able to see the scary situation that's been that unfolded earlier this morning. We first got those reports at 10 a.m. This is footage sent in courtesy of Efrain Reyes from Walmart. And you can see a woman with a bandage around her right arm, and there's blood on her pants as she's being helped by a Sam's Club employee and an El Paso police officer. There's also another video that we have that shows people running in Cielo Vista Mall. If we can pull that video up, they're running around with their hands up, and this kind of really shows what the situation.
All right, everyone, I need to come back with my mic for just a second. We just got a new exclusive picture on Twitter right now. We just got a picture on Twitter from the NBC affiliate. The ABC affiliate potentially may not report this. I mean, I know many of you know I love the ABC television network, but when we get a news tip, you know, we got to make sure that this is verified, and I can't confirm that this is a verified account. This is KTSM in El Paso, Texas, the NBC affiliate, so may want to warn you that these images could be graphic. So here's what we have right now. This is potentially the shooter. Once again, this could potentially be the shooter, and it is dated, today's date, August 3rd, 2019, and as you can see here, definitely looks like an automatic weapon. Definitely does. We have, trying to figure it out, could be an AK-47 from that brown marking. Could potentially be an AK. But again, I just want to confirm. Let's see if this link clicks us onto, because I want to see, you know. Yes, okay, so now they're saying 18 dead. 18 dead. So, I can read this now from the KTSM website, and I quote, KTSM can confirm through a source that this photo is of the shooter as he entered the Walmart show at Cielo Vista at 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Yes, and it says 18 people. 18. So, initial reports earlier, when I came back on, when I started this broadcast, this was 22, including 4 children that were dead. But we cannot confirm that at the moment. You heard from a spokesman from the El Paso Police Department. They didn't mention anything about children being shot dead. So again, we don't want to speculate anything, but for now, let's just join back to KVIA in El Paso.
If you're heading out right now, head over to the Reunification zone. That's where you can keep in contact with those that you need to contact. And again, do not head to the mall. Do not head to the Walmart. 8101 Whitus, that is the address on your screen. That is where you need to be heading if you haven't heard from a loved one just yet. Eric, what do you have for us?
JC, at the top of the hour here, 2 o'clock, we're now about 4 hours since the initial 911 calls came in around 10 o'clock this morning. So I want to take a moment to just rehash everything that we know at this time. If you are just joining us at this hour, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, El Paso time, there was an active shooter situation. 911 calls started coming in around 10 o'clock in the morning from the Walmart at the Cielo Vista Mall area. There are confirmed from El Paso police multiple fatalities, multiple injuries, multiple people transported to area hospitals. What you're seeing here, I should say, on the screen right now is some video from viewers inside Cielo Vista Mall, showing the chaos in the moments as people were evacuating the mall area with their hands above their heads. What we also have confirmed is that there is one suspect in custody. The weapon used, according to El Paso police, was a rifle. They have ruled out multiple shooters at this time. They have ruled that out. I know there were a lot of reports about multiple shooters, multiple people in custody. Right now, El Paso police saying that there is one person in custody, and they've ruled out the possibility of multiple shooters at this time, but they also reiterated that that can change. Now, another piece of information that I've just gotten that I want to let you know, El Paso, of course, as all of you viewers out there know, is such a loving and giving community and always looking to help out. If you want to help out, and if you're asking, what can I do right now, other than keeping yourself safe and avoiding the Cielo Vista Mall area, you can also donate blood. Vitalent on Mesa Hills is accepting blood donations and will be open until 5 o'clock. That may extend it as well, but at least at 2 o'clock this afternoon, that's what I'm being told right now, is Vitalent on Mesa Hills is accepting blood donations. So if you are looking for a way to help, as this is a major, major scene, and just the beginning of what we're learning right now in terms of the investigation and in terms of the multiple fatalities and multiple injuries, that is a way that you could help. Vitalent on Mesa Hills will be accepting blood donations until at least 5 o'clock. This afternoon. I'm also being told that we are getting response. We've been bringing you tweets and statements from elected officials, Governor Greg Abbott, as well as Mayor DeMargo and many others. But I'm also hearing that as we are, unfortunately, I don't want to make this is not political at all, but this is election season, so we are going to hear from potential candidates who are running for president as well. So we have a couple of Democratic presidential candidates who are weighing in on what is happening right now. Let's send it over to Mauricio with that.
Yeah, Eric, the first one we're hearing from former El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke. Let's go ahead and hear what he had to say.
I just learned on my way out here to see you, in my hometown of El Paso, Texas, there is right now an active shooter or shooters at the Cielo Vista Mall. Any illusion that we had that progress is inevitable or the change that we need is going to come of its own accord, shattered in moments like these. And that is upon every single one of us. There is no luxury in this democracy of sitting this one out.
Yeah. All right, and we also did hear also from New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, who again is also running for president for president rather. Let's hear what he had to say as well.
I just want to say we are in this unimaginably just distraught
Do apologize, everyone. The KVIA feed went out. We'll try to reconnect with them in El Paso in just a second.
Or other government officials. Again, we've heard from the governor, Greg Abbott from Texas, who says, according to the ABC station in Austin, Texas, he is on his way to El Paso. I'm sure other lawmakers will be making their way to this area as well. But if you're just joining us, it was shortly after 10 o'clock in the morning that the active shooter situation began. There is currently multiple fatalities, multiple people being transported to the hospital and multiple victims, according to El Paso police. Right now, they have one suspect in custody, according to police. There have been reports of multiple, but right now, one person in custody is what El Paso police are saying. Let's send it over to Mauricio.
All right, Eric, this just coming in. President Donald Trump is now chiming in on the situation on Twitter. I'm going to read this live on air a minute ago. Quote, terrible shootings in El Paso, Texas. Reports are very bad. Many killed. Working with state and local authority and law enforcement. Spoke to governor to pledge total support of federal government. God be with you all. End quote. That just coming in from President Donald Trump. We pulled it up there. Again, this is the first time he's chimed in just a minute ago. But we've heard other lawmakers.
Just dozens of people.
Once again, we are having technical difficulties right now with... Okay, what is going on? We're not even... Alright, we're having technical difficulties right now with KVIA in Dallas. We are having an issue with them. Yes, we're still live. Alright, go. We have a green light. Had to change my network. Right now, we are watching KVIA right now, and this is one of the reporters who was on the telephone earlier about an hour ago. So we'll put it back on. Let's see if we can get it back on. Can we?
From I would say the western part.
Yes, we can.
The Cielo was on the first floor. They were walking toward me. As they were walking toward me, that's when I started rolling. That's when I started recording on my phone again. Then I got them. I got video of them actually arriving to the escalator area, which is again just outside of Dillard's. And once they were there, they were confused. They were listening. They were talking to some folks, and they made a 180 and started walking back toward the west part of the mall. A lot of terror, essentially, is what it is. A lot of people were very scared, very afraid, very frantic. As you can imagine, a very ominous moment because we don't know exactly what's going on. The fear of the unknown is what obviously a lot of people were enraptured by, is that they didn't know exactly what was going on. You're watching video right now of pretty much what I saw inside one of the stores, is that people were running around confused. There's a lot of confusion. People didn't know exactly where it is to go. When you hear of a shooter, you want to look for the closest exit, but obviously people didn't know where that exit was. So that's exactly why they were running to wherever they could, to whatever exit they could, while they were trying to escape the situation. Of course, El Paso's finest were well within the area inside the mall, and I showed video of that. They were trying to find out, listening to reports as to where this one shooter or shooters were. Again, at the time, we did not know just how many shooters there were, where they were specifically. So a lot of terror at that moment. A lot of people pretty stunned at exactly what was going on. Eric?
Okay, so thank you. And we also just got an update that the former El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke has canceled his scheduled events in Nevada and California. Obviously, he's on the campaign trail, and he will immediately return home here to El Paso following this tragic shooting situation. What was an active shooter situation. We can confirm multiple fatalities and multiple people injured, but we don't have clear-cut numbers. ABC News had reported earlier the number 18. They are now withdrawing that and saying it may be the amount of people shot. Again, I just want to reiterate, there's a lot out there right now, and if you scroll through social media, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or anything out there, there's a lot of stuff out there. I understand in these situations and in the times that we're in right now, people are very quick to put things out there and jump to conclusions as to what is true, what is not. We will bring you what we have confirmed, and only that. We will source government officials and El Paso police, and when we get, as the hours move on here, we will start to get some more concrete details, and we will continue to update you as soon as we get them. As you saw behind Saul, we have a dedicated team of people in that newsroom right now that are working every angle of this tragedy, and we will bring you updates when we get them. Mauricio.
Well, Eric, just to reiterate what exactly is going on right now, there's a reunification center that has been set up and it's ready to go. It's over at MacArthur Elementary School. Now, we're urging you again.
Whoa, sorry about that, folks. I thought my mic was on. That's not a good situation to not have my mic on, but just want to quickly mention we're leaving the air right now. Again, I mentioned about 2 hours ago when I started the stream, I do have prior commitments that I must get to. Do have to get to them as soon as I can, but I just want to mention, because they're going to keep mentioning it on the air, this is where you need to go right now. If you have a loved one who was at the mall at the time of the shooting, please just remember that. At Cielo Valley Mall, that's where this happened. At the Walmart. So again, this is where you're going to want to go right now. 8101 Wittes. Again, that's 8101 Wittes. In El Paso. Because in El Paso, they don't say drive. They just say it street name. 8101 Wittes is where you need to be. MacArthur Elementary Intermediate School. This is where you're going to want to be at the moment. Hang on for a second. Yes, okay. This is just a refresh from KTSM in El Paso. Let me just pull my channel logo up. That's better. See, I knew when I had a live stream I would have that up. So, I do have to leave the air, everyone. If you are joining in, I will say this right now. I just put the link in the description if you want to continue to watch KVIA right now. I tested it on an iPhone, and on an iPhone it works fine. I'm able to watch it on my cell phone. So at least I can do it that way. I know on the iPhones, I think if you have iOS 11 or iOS 12, I don't remember which one I started this on, but if you cannot watch the video feed, let's say you're driving and you just want to get updates in general, what you can do is if the video is playing, you can actually keep Safari in the background. You can keep your Safari browser in the background if you have that feature. I know some of you had YouTube++ or YouTube Red. You can do that feature, but just very quickly, no problem. Cuomo corruption, no problem for that. I've been covering this for 2 hours, so I'm going to leave the air right now. Once again, please click on the link in the description below. I know at the moment, let's just check to see if my thing is still live at the moment. It says I'm live, but don't want to take that chance. Let's see. Let's just make sure my link is in the description below. Alright, good. So I am looking at my own stream, and we do have the link in the description below. So if you click or tap on that link in the description below, it's going to take you now to the special event page from the KVIA website. So I'm going to leave the air. Please just pray for El Paso. This could be an all-night situation. So thank you all for watching this special coverage.